I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 50! In the movie Finding Nemo, Nemo was never alive to begin with. He was believed to have died with his mother and his siblings at the beginning of the movie. And the whole movie Finding Nemo is just the allegory of Marlin dealing with the stages of grief. Also, Nemo in Latin means nobody, so the title Finding Nemo literally means finding nobody. And what if all the scenes with Nemo being on his own is just imagination, and the ending of the movie is Marlin finally releasing Nemo?
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Patrick is so dumb all the time? Well, it's because Patrick suffers from Down syndrome. His parents loved him but couldn't handle the pain of raising him, so they kicked him out when he was only a child. Patrick became homeless, which is why he lives under a rock. Patrick's parents told SpongeBob to take care of him, and they became best friends ever since. I'm sorry, guys.
I miss my Cocoa Butter kisses. Hope you smile when you listen. Ain't no competition, just competing for attention.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 13. Carl died in the beginning of the movie Up, and Russell is his guardian angel, trying to help him cross into heaven. Maybe that's why he had dreams of all of his memories with his wife. But what if Russell isn't just any guardian angel? What if he's Carl and Ellie's miscarried kid? Russell wasn't trying to earn a badge, he was trying to earn his wings.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Peter Pan was a crazy psychopath that trapped little kids in Neverland. He killed them before they grew up, which is why they could never leave as adults. Captain Hook was one of the Lost Boys that escaped Neverland, which explains why Peter Pan attacked Captain Hook and fed his arm to the crocodile. Which means the whole time Peter Pan was the bad guy. I'm sorry, guys.
The original Wizard of Oz is actually considered a cursed movie because of all the horrific things that happened during filming, so let's go through a few of them. First up, the main character who played Dorothy, Judy Garland, was actually drugged and molested during filming. She was given adrenaline shots so she can stay up for sometimes more than 48 hours in a row. And there was also reports that she was molested and sexually harassed by both the Munchkin actors and studio executives. The actress that played the Wicked Witch actually got horrifically burned on set. During the scene when the Wicked Witch escapes Munchkinland in a plume of smoke, the pyrotechnics team accidentally set off the explosion a little too early, which caused the actress's broom, hat, and makeup to catch on fire. Medics had to use alcohol to remove her toxic makeup, which was extremely painful because of her burns. And the fake snow they used in the movie was made with asbestos, which causes cancer. Pretty cool.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered how big the Teletubbies are? Well, they're nearly 10 feet tall and tower over the average human being. The rabbits in the Teletubbies garden are actually a gigantic species of rabbit to make the Teletubbies look smaller on camera. And if you're wondering what the Tubby custard is, it's actually mashed potatoes and paint, which will kill you if you eat it.
Belle and Beast actually got married and had a daughter. And the daughter's name was Jane. You know, Jane from Tarzan? Well, she left her parents to pursue animal research and met Tarzan. And Mrs. Pot and Chip were transformed magically back into their teapot form, which is why we see them right here in Tarzan. They went with Jane to watch over her during her research. Pretty cool.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. In the original Power Rangers, the Red Power Ranger Ricardo Medina pleaded guilty to killing his roommate with a sword. The original trio left the show because they were getting paid less than minimum wage. And Twee Trang, the Yellow Power Ranger, died in a tragic car accident when she was only 27. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 63. So in one episode of Phineas and Ferb, Dr. Doofenshmirtz actually goes on a date with Phineas and Ferb's mom. Here they are on their date. But what does this mean for Phineas and Ferb, you might think? Well, Dr. Doofenshmirtz is the biological father of Phineas and Candace. Check this out. Both Phineas and Dr. Doofenshmirtz have triangular heads, and they're both very smart and love inventing things. And Dr. Doofenshmirtz and Candace both have very long necks. Sorry bro, but your girl played you. Pretty cool.
I'm about to ruin your childhood. Did you ever wonder why Candace's mom can't see the amazing things that Phineas and Ferb do? This is because Phineas and Ferb are actually a figment of Candace's imagination. After not being able to handle Phineas's tragic childhood death, and Ferb having a disability that restrains him from talking or moving too much, Candace creates a world in her head where Phineas and Ferb do incredible things. Dr. Doofenshmirtz is her psychologist who is trying to get her back to normal. On the last episode, when the two brothers go to college, this symbolizes the acceptance of her younger brother's death and her ability to move forward. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 31. Tarzan is actually Anna and Elsa's little brother. Let me explain. In the first Frozen movie, you can see Anna and Elsa's parents boarding this ship, which later on we learn and see them perishing, quote unquote, in this shipwreck right here. But they didn't die right away. The ship does go down, but they don't die right away. Anna and Elsa's mom is actually pregnant when they went on the journey, and when all this was happening, she actually gave birth to a little boy named Tarzan. They both get on this raft here and land on a deserted island until something very bad happens. Both of them actually die because of a jaguar and leave behind Tarzan. Also, you can put them side by side, Anna and Elsa's parents and Tarzan's parents. They look the same. We all know the rest of the story. Tarzan's raised by these gorillas and becomes the boss he is. If you still don't believe me, it was proven by the director of Frozen. Pretty cool!
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Mother Gothel from Tangled is the evil queen from Snow White. Hear me out. So at the end of Snow White, the evil queen falls off the cliff, but we never really see her die. What happens is she finds the flower from Tangled, which makes her young and beautiful again. Because remember, both of them were obsessed with being young and beautiful. Also, they both have the same dagger. Here's the evil queen with hers, and here's Mother Gothel with hers. They also look very similar in their older states. So what about the famous red apple, you may ask? How come it's in Snow White but not in Tangled? Well, you'd be wrong, because it is in Tangled. When Flynn saves Rapunzel for the second time, he is stabbed by Mother Gothel. Now look at the print that is made on the wall when he slunches over. It's a red apple. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 20. Linda plus Lawrence equals Ferb, and Doofenshmirtz and Linda equals Phineas, and then that means...
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why we never see Max and Ruby's parents? Well, it's because they died in a tragic car accident, and Max was permanently brain damaged from this. Which explains why he can't speak in complete sentences and always blurts out one word at a time. Max only plays with emergency vehicles and cars because that's all he remembers from the crash. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 16. So in the beginning of the movie Shrek, you have these three bears caged up. You have Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. Then later on in the movie, you only see Papa Bear and Baby Bear next to this fire. Where's Mama Bear, you may ask? Later on in the movie, it shows you that Farquaad actually turned Mama Bear into a rug.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Peppa the pig was never healthy and always sick. One day, Peppa's parents decided it would be best if they euthanized her. That same night, Peppa fell asleep and was injected with a poison, killing her. Peppa's final dream was about fairies, which is why she wanted to become a fairy. Peppa's parents couldn't live with the guilt of killing their own child.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 15. Alright guys, in one scene of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, there's this scene right here where it shows all the presidents on Mount Rushmore getting pied in the face. But have you noticed what happens to Abraham Lincoln? If you look really, really closely, the other three presidents get pied in the face, but Abraham Lincoln gets pied in the back of the head, just like how he got assassinated in real life.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. In the show Thomas the Tank Engine, the Fat Controller is a cruel dictator. He brainwashes the trains and forces them into slavery. And when the trains are no longer able to serve him, he buries them alive. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 34. These are some famous cartoon characters which brought them into real life. Warning, this will amaze you. First off, we have everyone's favorite monster, Mike Wazowski. What would he look like if we brought him into the real world? I hope you guys aren't planning on sleeping for the next month because that is terrifying. Here's another one of my boy looking super pretty and cute. Love him. Next up, we have everyone's favorite little cute alien, Stitch. What would he look like if we brought him into the real world, you may ask? Well, if you thought he would look terrifying, you'd be right. He went from cute to utterly terrifying in like 2 seconds. Next up, we have everyone's favorite duo, Phineas and Ferb. What would they look like if they were real? I don't know what I was expecting, but this wasn't it. I love the hairstyles and the noses though, very nice. My guy's looking sharp and cute. Pretty cool!
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. In the show Blue's Clues, have you ever wondered why Steve talks to random objects all the time? Well, it's because Steve is a drug addict and is losing his grip on the real world. The child voices he hears in the background are actually people trying to help him get back to reality. Steve left the show so he could go to rehab. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 27. Dr. Seuss was racist and abused his wife, who actually later on ended up killing herself. Walt Disney didn't like Jewish people and also abused women and also was racist. The man that voiced Elmo, Kevin Clash, was actually a predator who targeted minors. The lion costume from The Wizard of Oz was actually made of real lions. And Mr. Mosby, Phil Lewis, actually killed someone, a 21-year-old girl, while driving intoxicated. Pretty cool!
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Did you ever notice how Caillou has no hair? Or why his parents let him get away with things all the time? Well, it's because Caillou was diagnosed with cancer when he was younger. Caillou's parents adopted Rosie because they're not sure how much longer Caillou has.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 51. Did you know in the movie Pocahontas, John Smith was actually 28 years old when he first met Pocahontas, and she was literally 10 years old? She wasn't even a teenager yet, John Smith. What the heck are you doing? Did you know that Big Bird almost joined NASA's Challenger mission to encourage kids to get interested in space? But we should all be glad he didn't. Had the plan been followed through, millions of kids would have watched Big Bird and the spacecraft explode on live television. Not gonna lie, that probably would have been pretty funny. The little girl that voiced Ducky in The Land Before Time, this little girl right here named Judith, she was actually shot in the head and killed by her abusive father when she was only 10 years old. R.I.P. to this little cute one.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever wondered why Plankton always wanted the Krabby Patty formula? Well, it was because he was abused by his parents when he grew up. And he was neglected by society, leaving him with no friend. He thought if he stole the Krabby Patty formula, he would finally be accepted into society. All he wanted was some friends. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna ruin your childhood. In the movie The Hobbit, 27 goats were killed from dehydration and starvation during filming. In Life of Pi, the tiger was abused and mistreated and almost drowned in one of the scenes. During the filming of Snow Buddies, all 5 of the puppies had to be put down because they all had a contagious parasite. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 32. These are some famous cartoon characters if you brought them into real life. Warning, this is very strange. First, let's start off with Squidward. Everyone knows what he looks like, but what if you brought him into the real world? What would he look like? What the? This makes me so uncomfortable. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Alright, SpongeBob. Everyone knows what he looks like, but what if you brought him into the real world? Oh my god. This is something straight out of a horror movie. I'm gonna have nightmares now. Thank you, SpongeBob. Peppa Pig, everyone's favorite. Everyone knows what she looks like, but what if we brought her into the real world? What would that look like? What the fuck? Yo, this is gross! What the heck is this thing? And she even has a little Peppa tattoo on her arm of what she really looks like. Definitely not sleeping tonight now.